the people, gratitude to the people in your life, gratitude to all beings on this planet, gratitude to our body, our breath, and gratitude to Mother Earth. Now slowly place your fingers on your eyes for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Now, whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. And please have some water, friends. Thank you so much for joining in. Beautiful meditation. Thanks to Pandit Hariprasad Chaurasian for beautiful music. So friends, today let us all know about the soul, the nature of the soul and its perception. Chapter 6 from SETH speaks the eternal validity of the soul. So it's a beautiful journey, isn't it, with this book? Today we will get to know more about our soul, and many doubts regarding soul will be cleared. And here, first of all, he says, first of all, a soul is not something that you have. It is what you are. So I repeat this. A soul is not something that you have. It is what you are. So we are the soul. He is mentioning that we are not this body. We are the soul. And we think that we have the soul. We have soul, something somewhere inside us. Or some say that in our aura, around our aura. So soul won't stay in certain one place as our heart in our physical body. So soul doesn't. So it moves in all the physical body, to each part, through each cell. So he says you are the soul. That means you are not something. Soul is not something that you have. It is what you are. The trouble is that you frequently consider the soul or entity as a finished, static thing that belongs to you, but it is not you. The soul or entity, in other words, your most intimate, powerful inner identity, is and must be forever changing. It is not, therefore, something like a cherished heirloom. It is alive, responsive, curious. It forms the flesh and the world that you know, and it is in a state of becoming. So here he says beautiful words that we have to realize that soul, it is our intimate, powerful inner identity. So it is the powerhouse. And further he says that it is a powerhouse. The soul is the powerhouse of a physical body, and it is like forever, and it's keep changing. It is not therefore something a cherished heirloom. So it is alive, responsive. It is alive. The soul is alive. It is responsive. So it responds. It gives us answers, and it's also curious. And this curiosity, that's one the soul wants to experience everything. The soul wants. So the soul takes the body. Here, what he says, it forms the flesh and the world you know. So it forms the flesh. It takes the body and the world around us. So we have created that in the soul form. So world that you know, and it is in a state of becoming what? So we are like becoming the God. So we are already God, but we are realizing, we need to realize that we are God. So here is like when I'm reading, before reading itself, before starting this chapter, I got a message from Seth Master saying, take a book and pen before starting the chapter. So, so he is about to give some wisdom regarding the soul, which is not from the book as usual that we know. He always gives us good explanation. So I thought, okay, maybe I just ignored. It's not like a strong feeling. So I kept on reading. So when I started to read only the few lines, he gave us, so it's a message from SETH Master regarding the soul, even in detail. So when I was reading this chapter, when I was going through these lines, suddenly I got a vision. Then open eyes, that something got separated, that a body got separated, and it is like the force something got, there is a separation between a physical body and something is there. I couldn't able to see that, but what is that? Then later on, Seth Master started to explain that when you get disconnect with yourself, the void between your materialistic body and your soul creates uncertainties. So he said, so when you get disconnect from yourself and from the soul, so when we get disconnect from our soul, we don't see, we don't see all these with our eyes, with our physical eyes, but there is a voidness, there will be a voidness. He says that there will be a voidness between your physical body and your soul, and that voidness creates uncertainties. So we can say like can replace like karma or anything. So and he said, then I got a doubt, and I asked him that how a voidness create uncertainties. Voidness, so there is nothing, it's an empty, and how can we create uncertainties through that empty space, that gap between a soul and the physical body? Then he said, no, that voidness fills that gap, that it is filled with illusions, ignorance, myths, and negative belief system. So when we disconnect with ourself, our inner self, or you can say like we can name it as soul, inner self, inner conscious, so anything that is within us, when we disconnect with our own self, we create uncertainties through the gap between, and it is filled with illusions, ignorance, myths, and negative belief system. And he further said, there are no questions in your realities. We think. So then I asked him, so usually we get questions, isn't it? Why this is happening in my life, and how I can overcome this, how, what, when, all these questions we get when we face certain situations or anything, okay, in our daily life. Usually these questions arise. So I said like, so when I asked her that, so he said, there are no questions in your realities. And Seth Master said, because you got disconnected with yourself. So you're getting questions because you got disconnected with yourself. So he always mentions you, the word you, that means it's like us, okay? So because you got disconnected with yourself. And he says, what he made me to understand is, when we plan at soul level, so this is how we write. He said, the soul writes, we plan our life, isn't it? We plan everything, not each and every situation, friends, but most of the experiences, like the turning points, we can say, in our life. So we generally we note them, we write them at the soul level. That's called soul plan. So this is how he said, this is how we write. In order to experience this, so and so, I want to create this type of situation. So in order to experience something, so and so, I want to create this type of situation. This is how we write. So when it comes to actual reality, so he said, when it comes to actual reality, when we face the challenge, when you face the challenge, like we end up with the questions because we miss the first part. Because we miss the first part, what we have written. Because in order to experience, right? In order to experience so and so, right? In order to experience so and so, I am creating this reality. I will create this reality. Okay, because we missed the first part. And where is the first part? The first part is within us, with the inner self, in our soul. That means we get these answers. We already know the answers of what we are facing, the challenge, any challenges, or we face any situation. We know the answer. We have to believe that. And here, and he says, as you miss the first part, so the second part is unknown. So when the second part takes into reality, when the second part, obviously we will experience, right? So when the second part, when it comes to the actual reality, as we have disconnected from our inner self, we have missed the first part, that is the answer, and we left with the questions. Okay, so this is how he said. And that's why he said there are no questions in your realities. There are no questions. So that means we know the answers. And here, how to connect with our inner self, he said. How to connect with our soul or inner self. The first one, he said, meditation. Obviously, right? Meditation is a gift to us. Meditation, I felt like, when I entered into this path, the everyone, so our relatives or friends, the closed ones, they sometimes they will give to us, they will give gifts to us, isn't it? In any occasion, I felt like I have given gift to myself, meditation. So meditation is a great thing, like we can connect with our own self. And second thing he said is, through practicing silence, mauna. So through practicing silence, even we can connect with our inner self. One is meditation, and next one is practicing silence. And practicing silence, here I want to share what Mahavatar Babaji guided me, has given guidance how to practice silence. So in the initial days, when he got connected, he told me to practice mauna for 21 days. So usually, practicing silence, that too for 21 days, for one day we can manage, for 21 days. So I got some doubts regarding that. How can we manage at our house? We have to answer, and we have to answer important calls or phones. Okay, I got these doubts. So he said, the actual silence you have to maintain, not from the outside, from inside, from in. So we have to maintain that silence in our inner self. uh, of course you can answer, but not in a lengthy answer, not in a to a make precise answers. And he said to avoid any social media or any other no, you have to disconnect from the outer world. So you can read books and more meditation. And importantly, we have to be in the present moment. You have to be in the present moment. So whenever generally I used to get deviated, because I'm used to, because you used to think about, we go like from the past to the present. So we miss the present, from the past to the future, but we miss the present moments. So he said, be in the present moment. So whatever you do, next thing is mindfulness. So whatever we do, we have to be present, with our whole being, have to present there. And whenever I do any work, he said, whenever you get distracted, so I feel like I'm getting distracted, and it is very hard for me to that at the time, it is very hard for me to stay to focus on something, because I used to go so wandering here and there, my thoughts. And he said one simple thing, in meditation, you observe your breath, to bring back your attention, to bring back yourself. So in the same way, in your awareness also, when you do something, so when you are getting distracted, and practicing in mindfulness, you can observe your breath, not only in meditation, in your awareness. When you are getting distracted, when you are too much distractions or disturbance going on in yourself, bring back your attention on your breath for a few seconds. And he said he has given example of a kite. So when you enjoy the kite, so when we fly that kite, if the kite is getting here and there, it is wavering, okay, with the wind. And what we do, so we bring back again, we wind up that wire back, so that to get the kite stable, to get it into the stable state. So in the same way, we have to bring back our attention by observing our breath. So he said, it is your breath which bring back your with your inner self. And again, it is like we can focus on what we are doing, we can practice mindfulness. And this is what he said. And most importantly, we have to maintain inner silence. No, he said, for all these 21 days, you should not talk to yourself, the inner talk. So inner talk, it gives us so much of disturbance, friends. It raises questions, no, like what Seth Master say, about the questions, about the realities, about what we are facing, or we can go to the past. So everything, that inner talk, he said, you have to stop that inner talk. So this is how he has guided. If you know further anything, it's your wish, you can practice in your own way. So through practicing silence. And then the third one is, when you are with higher consciousness than yours, like when we are with gurus or great personalities or great masters. And here he also mentioned about nature, higher consciousness. In this point, he mentioned about gurus, great personalities, and about our nature also. Even nature has a highest consciousness, is a higher consciousness. That why nature heals us. When we go, when we experience that nature, when we connect with the nature, nature heals us our wounds and it calms us, because that means what is happening? When we are experiencing the nature, we are experiencing our inner self, the blissfulness, the the pleasantness. So here he also mentioned, and coming to the gurus, friends. So when we are with the gurus, his consciousness or aura, put all your logic mind drops. And here what Patri sir is, who I know. So many masters, I heard from many masters when they are sharing their own experience. So if they have certain doubts, many doubts, they want to clarify the doubts with Patri sir. And when they sit with sir, so all their logic mind drops, all their doubts get cleared, or all their doubts drops off, because of his consciousness, because of his aura. That's how the great master's presence is, because they vibrate in a loving, unconditional love state, with a pure love, and with the purity. Okay, this is how we can build our consciousness with love and purity. And coming to the guru, friends, don't get attached to the masters. If you're following, if you believe in certain masters, but it is a sign that any guru or teacher never make us depend on him. So he never encourages dependency. So don't depend on. That's why Patri sir, whenever if you heard Patri sir, he said whatever he will share the wisdom, but at the end he says that it is who you have to experiment. Don't believe in me also, you have to experiment. He never ever said you have to listen to my words, you have to follow me. He never said. So this is how we can identify the best person, the best guru or teacher. And mostly he is like not a guru. He never introduced himself as a guru, as a teacher, but as a friend. Okay. And on what Patri sir is also, when we are not in the presence of guru, okay, when we are not in, again, if we meet a person, we will experience that blissfulness, or we will experience that whatever the beautiful experience. But when we get back, when we are not in the presence of guru, again we will go into that pattern, again our behavior starts. So why? So that's why connect with your inner self. not with the physical person, not with any physical thing, but connect with your person. That's why that's why the Patri sir, the best thing which is already said by Patri sir is your breath is your guru, right? We can be with our guru, we can be with our breath whenever we want, and constantly be connected with ourselves, right? So whenever we want, we can connect with our guru. And here, and like nature. So nature, how lovely it is, how lovely, isn't it? Nature is also the higher consciousness, so we can connect with the nature. And the fourth one is when you drop your ego self. When you drop your ego self, you can connect with your inner self. So these are the 4 points he mentioned. One is meditation, one is through practicing silence, and the third one is when you are with a higher consciousness than yours, and fourth one is when you drop your ego self. Now I would like to read from the book about a few lines as mentioned in detail. So these lines, these lines, I have no idea about whatever I'm going to read now. It's like it is connected to the message which he has given to us about the ego self. He said, since the ego is definitely a part of the whole self, then it must necessarily be basically aware of such knowledge. In its intense focus in physical realities, however, it pretends not to know until it feels able to utilize the information in physical terms. So though we know that we got all the answers, but the ego self, what the ego self, it pretends not to know. So the ego self, that I don't know anything, I don't know how to handle this, but our inner self knows. So this ego that's why he said when you drop your ego self, will know the answer. So the ego doesn't want us, doesn't our ego itself doesn't want to know the answer, and until it feels able to utilize the information in the physical terms. So it is okay to get information from the from our realities, from our physical realities, but from our physical world, uh, but it's like we have to take that information as a base, or take that information as additional information, and we can know our, when we get to know our answers, and this will definitely help. Or sometimes this physical information, it's not much helpful. And next continuation, he said, channels, psychological and psychic, always exist, sending communication back and forth through the various levels of the self, and the ego accepts necessary information and data from inner portions of the personality without question. So our inner self, I will try to read again. Channels, psychological and psychic, always exist, sending communications back and forth through the various levels of the self, and the ego accepts necessary information and data from inner portions of the personality without question. And he says all the questions, right, about the questions. And the soul or entity is not diminished but expanded through reincarnations, through existence and experience in probable realities. This is how each and every incarnation is like we are expanding our soul consciousness. We are expanding the soul or entity, or the soul is expanding through all these incarnations. And he further said about even the beautiful information, a lot of information has been shared regarding soul and also God concept in further lines, friends, further pages. So let us all end today here, and we will get to know more information, and it's very interesting coming ahead. So thank you so much. Then, if at all you want to share anything, you can unmute. Yeah. So let's meditate a minute, friends. Last 10 seconds. Slowly open your eyes, friends. Thank you. Yes. Anyone, if you wish to share your experience, you can unmute yourself. Yes, Mamta ji.
Namaste, Sarada ji.
Namaste.
Namaste, masters. It was so beautiful wisdom. And always hearing about the soul becomes a so beautiful experience for me. And so many times I feel that hearing about the soul means we are in the soul consciousness.
Wow.
So what today explained, and really I enjoyed so much, and so many points it gave clarity for me. Thank you for the great master, SETH master. And always you explain it so clearly and so beautifully with a soothing voice. Really, I experienced lovely. It was so beautiful. And I want to share some affirmations. I understand that I am in control of my own happiness. I understand that I am surrounded by opportunities for growth and abundance. I understand that I am deserving of love and belongings. I understand that I am worthy of my own love and affection. I understand that I am capable of achieving anything I set my mind to. I understand that mistakes are opportunities for learning and growth. I understand that self care is essential for my well being. I understand that I am constantly evolving and growing. I understand that I am deserving of respect and kindness. I understand that I am capable of achieving my dreams and goals. I understand that my choices are mine to make and I don't owe explanation to anyone. I understand that I can't control others' actions, only my own reactions. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, universe. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mamtaji. When I'm listening to your affirmations, if I felt like I have experienced self-love, that I'm hugging myself. Thank you so much. Yes, anyone like friends? Sir?
To know about I was in that situation that I wanted self-love. So only I do the practices.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sir?
Yes, very wonderful session, Sarada garu. Learning about the source of the soul and, the misery and all the issues in the world are simply because of this disconnection to who we really are. And very clearly, we know again and again, confirmation again today from SETH Master, how to connect back to who we are, how to connect to the soul. So we time and again listened about meditation, so we can be sure that we are on the path when we close our eyes. So that is enough. So the moment the first word says how to connect to the soul, meditation. So the moment we know this, we can be happy because every trial we are making to close our eyes and to observe our breath, we are going away from all the questions and to the source. So we are going away from all the illusions, we are going away from all the belief systems, we are going all away from all the doubts and getting closer and closer to our own self, where everything is there. Everything is there. So very beautiful. And yes, there are these additions as well we have to um, kind of integrate. And I think they are part of a natural process, the silence that naturally integrates into one's being, and how we relish being in presence of wonderful masters, friends, and as well nature. So, yes, stillness speaks, stillness connects, and the part of dropping ego self is as well beautifully explained here. Something that came to me is ego we have to identify and have to be tamed. So these are the two statements that came through. So very beautiful session. So thanks a lot, Shantagar. And Mamtaji, thanks a lot. It was beautiful affirmations.
Thank you, Ram sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes, Anaji.
Thank you, Master Sharda, for the lovely meditation and the wisdom. I love the way you explain things so easily and comprehensively to us. And thank you to tell us that we have all the answers within us. We just have to connect to ourselves. Thank you so much. It's what a beautiful session. Lots of love and gratitude.
Thank you to you too. Thank you, Anaji. And whatever the explanation, so even Mamtaji has sharing, it's not completely from me. It's how Seth Master, it's how the guidance comes. So I just take that guidance. That's it. So thank you. Anyone would like to share, friends? So then, thank you so much. Yes, Indraji.
Thank you, Sarada ji, and thank you, Mamta ji, and thank you, Ram sir. Such a wonderful meditation, and your wisdom is really deep rooted, very clear, and I'm trying. I'll keep on trying, and I'll get there. I'm on my right path, and and I will go to my inside. Thank you.
Thank you, Indiraji. You're already in the right path. Thank you. So when we meditated, as Ram sir said, and I heard from SETH Master, so he said how to connect with your inner self. I'm very curious and to know how he's going to share. When he shared about first thing is meditation, then I felt, wow, yeah, that what Ram sir has said, we are in the right path. Yes. So do meditate, friends. Always Patri sir says, when you have too many questions, so practice meditation for longer hours. All your questions drops means we get answers. Thank you, Indraji. Thank you.
Thank you.
As friends, still anyone would like to share? Thank you for the messages. Yeah, we'll further know. We'll get to know about more information about soul, friends. And let's all connect in this next session and in today's as well. So, sir, any announcements would you like to share?
Yes. So, friends, today evening we have Sharuji at 4 p.m. Germany time as part of the monthly Thrive series, and she would be sharing about the fundamentals of creation in a way that how it all begins with a thought. So let us all connect and listen to Master Sharuji's wisdom. And we would not be having the 6 p.m. session because this is a special Friday evening session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Then we'll end up today's session. Thank you, friends. Have a great time. Thank you, sir.